Chapter 8, the chill generation. He's pretty chill. If I had a world of my own, everything would be nonsense. Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Millennials are the chill and whatever generation. These words appear to be their mantras as they seem to be paranoid of turning into uptight overachievers like their parents. What planet are they on? The one I'm on is not overpopulated by overachievers. Chapter 8, the chill generation. If I had a world of my own, everything would be nonsense. Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. Millennials are the chill and whatever generation. These words appear to be their mantras as they seem to be paranoid of turning into uptight overachievers like their parents. What planet are they on? The one I'm on is not overpopulated by overachievers. Generation X refers to those born to post-war babies, baby boomers, between the 60s and the early 80s. Next is the millennial generation, those born from the early 80s to the beginning of the new millennium. The millennials are also dubbed Generation Y, but maybe we should call them Generation C for chill. I use this term because of the prolific use of the colloquial term chill. If someone is angry, he is told to chill out. If someone is sad, crying, or getting upset, she is told to chill. When two or more friends hang out, they are chilling. Chillin' refers to the relaxed state of not being bothered or agitated by things, even good things, and being emotionally unaffected by the world and its circumstances. If someone is excited about a movie she saw or a roller coaster he just rode and is talking about it excitedly, that person is not chill. To be chill is to seem indifferent and unaffected by circumstances, implying that only someone evolved and mature can be this way. One who is chill is respected and admired, while one who is not being chill, unchill, is shunned and ostracized. The king is dead, long live the king. Every generation needs to establish its independence, personal identity, and individuality. It makes no difference if our parents are right or just or fair. We are all biologically designed to reject existing social paradigms in order to establish our own identities and individuality. An individual rejects his or her parents and resists or defies what they say, and while this is perceived as a conscious choice, it is actually an evolutionary one. It is actually an evolutionary predisposition that begins during puberty. The only way we can establish individuality is by comparing and relating all existing things to the way we perceive they could or should be. It's a disease, but a necessary one, as the only way things change or progress is if we reject the old and bring in the new. If my son were to become king one day, he would have to usurp the current king, me, or else live in my shadow. Similarly, if your daughter is to become a so-called modern woman, she'll need to redefine what a modern woman is. Kids who grow up to be just like their parents have no unique identity. They're just carbon copies. So it's out with the old and in with the new. Discontentment is a condition we all try to avoid, yet it is this condition that makes us strive for, desire, and form the idea that things could be better. Contentment is not a virtue but a vice, and it should never be wished for. The moment we are completely content is the moment we become inert. Plato said that necessity is the mother of invention. We need and desire, therefore we become active. It is a blessing and a curse. Our quest for contentment and peace is the very thing that motivates us, but this pursuit is also the cause of our stress and anxiety. The chill generation is establishing its identity by rejecting existing paradigm. Hooray, the king is dead, in order to form a new world. Long live the king. This is progress, and it has been going on since the beginning of human existence. Parents, get used to it. Don't take your child's resistance personally. You're only encouraging it when you do. Chillers, chill out. Your rebelliousness has all been done before. You're not the archetypes you think you are. Counterculture has happened before. The 60s, the 40s, the 20s, each generation needs to make its mark. Music is often a means of expressing a new mentality. The ragtimers of the 20s, the doo-woppers of the 50s, and the hippies of the 60s were all defined by their generation's music. It was an expression of their collective consciousness, and while the music defined them, they defined the music too. Music can be a unique and personal expression of who a person is, but a musician is not inventing anything new. He or she is simply arranging the already existing 7 notes on the musical scale. Every musician is in fact a plagiarist. The scale is like the mathematics of music, and it is archetypal. Though we can rearrange the notes, they've all been played before. Each generation needs to express itself and make its mark, usurp the existing regime. Here are some of the hallmarks of the chill generation attitude. They respond with one-word or single-sentence answers to any inquiry. Yeah, sure, whatever, okay, all right, later, no, nuh-uh. They seem annoyed and inconvenienced by any inquiry or dialogue, no matter how casual. They are dispassionate about everything they're involved in. School is whatever, even if they're getting straight A's. A concert may have been great or awesome, but there is minimal emotional expression of this. They are capable of passing time engaged in little to no activity, frequently playing video games, watching TV, or doing nothing, chilling. The more upset you get at them, the more indifferent they become. This is meant to reveal how silly you are and who's really in control. By being indifferent, they deprive the upset person of any power, robbing that person of the feeling of satisfaction that he or she is making an impact. They minimize or avoid conversations about themselves. Feelings and thoughts are 4-letter words to them. They do not explore these topics even with their friends. Friends are viewed as an escape from the stressors of life, not as resources to vent, understand, or analyze them. I once asked my son about his best friend's relationship with his father. This was his response. I don't know how they get along. We don't talk about those things. We hang out. We don't talk. We don't talk about our girlfriends or our parents or school or lives in the future. We just hang out. That, by the way, was a lot of conversation for him. Before we draw a conclusion that this perspective is an exclusively male one, let me dispel that right now. The female 20-somethings I work with explain the same thing. As a matter of fact, the reason many of them like having me as a life coach and counselor is that they don't discuss life issues or express feelings in their peer groups. The chill peer group is meant to provide respite from life's responsibilities and the mental pressures that come with them. Similarly, when I'm home, I prefer not to solve emotional issues and problems in a therapeutic way so as not to identify family with work. My family members are some of the very few people I do not counsel, even if I'm asked to. Home is my refuge from work and my sanctuary, and friends are this to the chillers. Many of the popular chill generation drugs are not intense or serious. This generation is more attracted to the dissociatives, empathogens, and entactogens, as these neither require nor overly stimulate deep thinking or feelings. Quite the contrary, these drugs are typically easy to process and endure. Opiates have resurged as they are the patriarchs of the chill drugs. Nowadays, stimulant drugs that enhance energy, focus, and intensity are mostly taken only by those with ADD and ADHD because they paradoxically provide a chill effect for these types. Ecstasy, Molly, ketamine, salvia, and especially benzos are the chill generation's choice as they satisfy this generation's search for a mellow, non-agitated state of being. They want success, they just don't want the pressures that come with it. I hope they figure out how to pull that off. If they do, I'll join them.